Welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Here are the top 10 unsettling crossbreeding experiments that the government tried to cover up. Yeah, we found out. Kicking off the list at number 10, a Lamal. Or a comma, you pick. That's the best part of these hybrid animals. They have two names, really, so you can choose whatever sounds the most silly. A Lamal is the result of crossbreeding in Dubai. Yeah, the crown prince thought, you know what? We've made enough memories here. Let's make an animal. Why not? What could go wrong? Let's make a comma and name it Rama. And he did. He did just that. Rama the comma. Just rolls off the tongue. What could go wrong? Researchers in the United Arab Emirates artificially inseminated a camel back in 1998. They were hoping to have this brand new animal born with the wool of a llama and the temperament of a camel. Instead, they got him. This little guy. Rama is known to be moody, but you know what? To be fair, I would be moody as well if I was just born. If I was just created out of nowhere. Like, why do my knees hurt? They're like, well, those are new knees. We have never seen those knees before. So that's why they're clicking. Number 9, Mules and Hinnies. So right off the bat here, a mule is already a hybrid. It's the offspring of a male donkey and a female horse. And a hinny is the offspring of a male horse and a female donkey. Get it? Got it? Great. Mules have been a pretty common asset since George Washington days, fun fact. But it wasn't until 2003 until the University of Idaho cloned one. Yeah, we cloned a hybrid animal. I feel like we're flying too close to the sun here, honestly. The mule's name, well, the clone rather, was Idaho Gem. That's a fair name. He's pretty well a gem, yeah. Number 8, sheep goats. I love these ones. I'm not gonna lie, they're odd, but they're very cute, undeniably cute. These little miracles. It was really this one goat in northern Germany who did this one. He saw this sheep on the other side of a fence and thought, you know what? Forget the last million years of evolution. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna go talk to her. Let's see what happens. She goes to another school. Let's see what's up. I'm gonna be brave. He hopped the fence, went over, got some phone numbers, had some dates, did some dirties. The odd time this does happen, usually nothing happens long term. But when farmer Klaus Eksternbrink saw this fling, he couldn't believe his eyes later. A sheep goat, or a geep, was born in front of his eyes, yeah, and they named it Lisa. What a lovely name. How sweet is that? Also, this list starts a little tame and then they get into some, pig human stuff. So if you're saying, aw, right now, no, buckle up, it gets much worse. Starting with number 7, Beefalo. Yeah, not necessarily the government, but back in the mid-1700s, thousands of ranchers, I'm talking like 6,000 ranchers, all agreed to raise hybrid beefalo. Yeah, that was the thing they were gonna change in history at that point. They're like, let's do it, and then they went with beefalo. Well, they didn't really have a choice. The beefalo is a result of American bison meeting cattle. These accidental hybrids are normal. They're expected in some way, shape, or form, but cut to the late 1800s, cattle and bison were intentionally created. Yeah, Colonel Samuel Bedson, guy was warden of Stony Mountain Penitentiary. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna crossbreed some animals. Yeah, take my thousands of keys. Thank you. I'm gonna go. Animal life it is for me now, I guess. Guy buys 8 bisons and then breeds them with Durham cattle. Yeah, what do you do on your weekends when you retire, I guess? The beefalo is a great improvement. Apparently it's a great milker. I don't know much about milking beefalos or buffaloes, but Warden Samuel Bedson, he was your guy in the late 1800s. He would have chatted your ear off about milk and beefalo. Number 6, lions. Back in the 1980s, the Chatbar Zoo in India started an experimental program where they would breed together a domestic lion, which is a bit smaller and has less of a shaggy mane, with an African lion, in the hopes that they could be introduced to the wild and help with the dwindling population of wild lions in India. On paper, this sounds like a good idea, a step forward, rather, dare I say. The zoo found 2 African lions that were being used in a circus and then brought them in to breed with their 2 Asiatic lions. Yeah, it's like, hey, we saved ya. Just kidding, you're going to a much worse place. When the cubs were born, it was clear this was a mistake. Things weren't going well at all. His back legs were quite weak. They were having extreme trouble walking, and as they got older, obviously this got worse. Their immune systems started to fail more and more, and come 2000, they had bred more than 70 of these hybrid lions. They finally decided to stop the program, and then all these males were given vasectomies in order to, prevent any reproduction down the line. But there were laws that prohibit them from killing these animals, so they were actually just waiting for them to die naturally, which is sad. You're like, hey, great law, but yeah, today, come on. When there's a dwindling population of lions, it's wild that they wasted 20 years trying to do this when, they could have simply just bred lions that they had and then focused all their energy on that instead of creating a alien lion. But who am I? I'm just a YouTube host. It's probably harder than it sounds, but man, this stuff is, it's pretty rough. Number 5, Wholphin. Well, there's a word I have never said before in my entire life. These guys were created when a female common bottlenose dolphin was bred with a male killer whale. Yeah, what a riot, what a pair, what a duo. These are extremely rare and they've been found in the wild, but unfortunately, most of the ones that have existed were bred in captivity. Yeah, because humans suck. The first recorded Wholphin was born at the Tokyo SeaWorld in 1981, but he sadly died not even a year after his birth, just 2 days in and it was done. Obviously this is not working out, but the firstborn Wholphin in the United States that miraculously somehow survived was at Sea Life Park in Hawaii, and that was in 1985. And her name was Kekamalu. She ended up having 3 babies. She did survive. Now the first baby passed away after a few days, and the second passed away at the age of 9, but 9 years old. This is already a massive improvement from what we've seen earlier, and thankfully the third one is still living to this day. Yeah, both Kekamalu and her daughter are still alive, but they still remain in captivity. Number 4, farm cattle. In the 1990s, farmers in India figured that if they were to crossbreed their cattle, they'd be able to breed cattle that could produce more milk, which would of course mean more money, which is better for everyone and their families. Now this was an ideal step, right? What could possibly go wrong? A lot of things could go wrong here. Different breeds of bulls were brought in and farmers were expecting milky results, good results. And they ended up with cattle that did produce more milk, but at the same time, these guys needed way more food or else they'd stop producing said great amounts of milk. They wouldn't get milky results after that point. Plus they were less resistant to local diseases, so they required way more vet visits. So yeah, they're producing more milk, which will get us more money, but they also cost us more money long term. So AKA, not a solution. Number 3, dog mixing. Oh, this one's sad too. No more fun and games, no more milk and jokes, this one's wild. But this one is also a reminder that you can't just put any type of dog together and then just see what happens. Yeah, that's not gonna fly, my friends. That's not how DNA works. I got the D, didn't know how to do the N or the A, really. Back in 2010, a woman named Julie Leroy was working as an animal control officer when an owner of a pit bull puppy came in and said she just didn't want the dog anymore, wasn't feeling comfortable owning this specific dog. In fact, it didn't look like any dog she had seen in the past, which was odd considering her occupation. The dog had a shorter body, it was like stuffy almost, and its jaw was larger and had a massive underbite. It didn't look easy to navigate at all, this poor thing. Well, it turns out the dog suffered from short spine syndrome. This is the result of backyard breeding, just improvising on your own. Don't do that. Yeah, leave it to the people who know what they're doing, please, for the love of God. Julie ended up taking care of this dog because she had to, because this person's like, bye. And they had a great relationship, but this is not ideal. Don't do this. Number 2, human pig. Yeah, of course we had to save this one for the last 2. This is wild. This is some next level stuff. Is this a Marvel film? Human pig? What are we doing? Scientists in California back in 2017 were up to some pretty remarkable stuff. An embryo was placed in an adult pig for around 4 weeks, then once scientists analyzed said embryo afterwards, they learned that the embryos not only 1, survived the process, which is a miracle in itself, but 2, the human cells also remained. Okay, now what? This is next level crossbreeding right here. The goal here, scientifically, was to grow human organs inside the pigs. And Juan Carlos Esbizua Belmonte successfully created pig-human hybrids at the Salk Institute lab. Yeah, can't wait till we have a pig superhero now, or pig villain. Those exist too. Number 1, Pizzly Bear. Yeah, we gotta finish this list off on an educational note. We always gotta remind the world that the ice everywhere is melting all the time. Yep, we're slowly melting, folks. Better believe it. And Pizzly Bears are here to warn us. Back in 2006, a Canadian hunter found a hybrid bear. They called it a Pizzly Bear or a growler bear because it looked like a mix of the two. But it actually was. It was a hybrid. Tests were later done in 2010 after more appeared in Alaska and northern Canada. Now historically, polar bears branched off of grizzlies DNA-wise, but now we're at a point where they're coming back together. Why? Because everything's melting and food is becoming sparse. So now they're going further away to find food, and in turn, they're meeting each other, and then they're doing the thing. Now they're starting to merge back together. And in turn, we get these terrifying bears. We have some human hybrids, some pig stuff, some milk talk. This list was loaded. This is a loaded pierogi full of crossbreeding facts. There you go, just what you wanted to hear, I bet. I've been Taylor McWaters, and we'll see you next time for some more crossbreeding experiments that the government tried to cover up. Hopefully hit that thumbs up. We'll do a part 2. Peace.